So we're back at Cadwell Park for the final race of the British Superkart Championship, the opening rounds of this year's championship. Unfortunately, we don't have any drivers to speak to at the moment, but we've seen some cracking racing so far. 2 wins for Lee Harpham in the Division 1 category and 2 wins for Liam Morley. Lee Plain in 250 National, and 2 wins for Costa Karitsis in the 450s, and also 2 wins for Jack Tritton. So they've maxed out already on the points, but can they be challenged in the final race? Hopefully we'll wait and see for some more close action. I was hoping to catch up with a few of the drivers beforehand, but we've still got the drift cars out on circuit at the moment. Unfortunately, things have run a little bit behind schedule, but the Superkart action ready to go. The weather's looking good. We should get a decent dry track for this final round. So what is a supercar if you've never seen them before? 130 mile an hour at the end of the back straight into Park Corner, and unfortunately only 22 on the grid this weekend. We were expecting a few more to come along, but this is the opening rounds of the MSA British Superkart Championship. The next rounds will take place at Anglesey in June. Well, there'll be a further 3 rounds to come, and then 2 rounds at Donington Park in September, which precedes the Grand Prix. We have got a few drivers that have now come down into the dummy grid area, so we'll see if we can get a few words. So the 7 car of Andy Gulliford actually starting from the front row in the next race. The grid positions for the final race based on the fastest laps by the drivers in the preceding race. So Andy Gulliford got a good lap time in to take up P2 on the grid, and directly behind him is the 1 car, the reigning champion of Ross Allen, Jack Tritton. The double winner in the Formula 125's already arrived, and are hoping to pick up the 3rd win of the day for him. If we can get some engines killed, I might try and get a quick word with some of the guys, but so Ross, quick word. Not been ideal for you to start the defensive championship. Obviously Lee Harpham's got the 2 wins already, but you've been there and thereabouts. Unfortunately, what was it, a carburettor fell off in the last race, so all to go for in this last one?
Yeah, I'm just hoping for one good result really. 3rd place was okay in race 1. Obviously race 2 was a little bit disappointing, but we need a little bit more out and out speed, which we're hoping we found for this one, so we'll see.
So looking forward to a nice close dice up the front again with Lee and Liam.
Yeah, I've made the first lap quite interesting a couple of times. I'm hoping to do the same again.
Great stuff. Okay, Ross, thanks very much. We'll see if we can have a word with 101. That's Lee Plain, the reigning British champion in the 250 national class. 2 wins already this weekend, so it's the driver's best 2 scores from the 3 races this weekend. So once again, Lee Plain already maxed out on the points. Irrespective of what he does in this race, he's got to drop the score, but we'll see if we can So I'm with Jack Tritton, the double winner of 125s already. I've come to have a chat with you, Jack, because you're the only one that hasn't got an engine running. It's a bit quieter. But 2 wins already. I don't think you can ask for anything better, really, can you?
Yeah, it's been a great start to the British Champs. Loving the track, and yeah, I'm going to keep pushing in this one. We've made a change to the gearing to see if we can get some more top speed. Might not work, but the goal is to finish. But yeah, I'll be fighting for that win again.
Looking forward to a good scrap. So we're looking at the number 3 karts of Carl Kinsey, 4th in the last race. So Carl hoping to get a bit further up the finishing order this time around. But the dummy grid, a real humdrum of noise at the moment as the driver's trying to warm up the engines ahead of this final race. So, double winner already, Lee. 3 in a row, or are you going to play it safe?
We're going to be going for it. I mean, made some changes again for this race. So, all being well, we'll be there.
And we'll have a quick word with Costa Carizzi. So Costa, already 2 wins under your belt this weekend. Yeah. A close race with Amy last time around, but she's your main opposition this time as well.
I want to try and get some of the 250s. I want to try and see how close we can get to them. Yeah. Hopefully, I mean the sass has been amazing all weekend. I really like it, the way it drives and everything. So. Yeah, hopefully the steering wheel stays intact and we can go.
So look forward to another close race. Cheers. We'll see if we can... So Will Lawrence coming down to take up his spot on the grid. But we'll have a word with Tom Riley. So Tom, reigning British champion, obviously in the 125 class, hasn't gone quite to plan so far this weekend, but a good scrap with Jack in the last one. But you think you can get the win this time?
Yeah, hopefully so. Last time I had to start from the back, so I only got a couple of laps to race with him and Steve as well. So hopefully this race will be a tight one. Hopefully come out on top.
I'll be looking forward to it. Cheers. Okay. I think someone else will try and grab a word with his Amy Jurger, who was running second in the 450. So Amy, a close race last time with Costa, and obviously you got a win here last weekend. So do you think you can pull off another win in this final race?
I mean, Costa is super quick this weekend. I mean, it was only close for the last couple of laps because the steering was loose, but we've made a few changes, so I hope it can be a little bit more on it, but yeah, we'll see. I'll give it a go.
We'll be looking forward to a close race. And if I can have a quick word with the 0 car of Liam Morley. So Liam, no wins so far, but pole position for this one. So do you think you can bring it home and get the win?
I'm hoping so. I mean, I've made 2 bad starts up to now this weekend, so I know in that race maybe if I'd have got a better start, so, I was on him on the last lap, but fingers crossed we can make a good start, maybe pull a gap and
I like the flag a bit ideal, but you know, Lee's absolutely on it this weekend, so we've got our work cut out, but we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, looking forward to a close race.
Yeah.
Well done, Liam. All the best. So as the Superkart grid starting to form up, it looks like the whole of the 22 runners are out there. I'll have a quick tot up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Yeah, all 22 are ready to go. So I think we're just waiting for the drift cars to finish off their final. And then we'll be on for another 12 minutes of action. So who's it going to be this time round? Is it going to be the Zero Kart from pole position, Liam Morley? Or is it going to be Andy Golliford that's going to take his first win?
Well, excellent stuff there, Gary. Thank you very much. And like you say, drifters just about ending their sessions. Obviously, the Motorsport UK British Superkart Championship will be heading out onto the circuit soon for their third and final race of the weekend. Gary rejoins us back at the commentary. He's going to have a swig of his drink first. He's been talking for about 10 minutes, 30 minutes, probably I should say, and the rest. He joins us back in the commentary box. But yeah, no, excellent stuff out there. Great to hear from the drivers, of course, talking out there. I had the pleasure of visiting the Motorsport UK truck that is based here in the paddock at Cadwell Park, and I had the pleasure of going to take a seat in one of the supercarts out there, and I have to say, it was quite comfortable once you were in it, but it took a while to get in it. I didn't realise I had a big backside until I tried to sit in that seat, and then apparently I did have a big backside. So, yes, it was. But I have to say, huge thanks to Motorsport UK for bringing the carts down, of course, for them being here in the truck. Absolutely fantastic. You yourselves can test a supercar as well. You can head to Darley Moor, Terry down there as well. You can head down, you drive I think your Pro Kart first, and they'll put you in a 125 cc a bit later on in the day as well. So it's a fantastic day out. I'm sure, Gary, you know quite a bit about this.
Yeah, it's called the Superkart experience. So basically, it's your first taste of driving a superkart on a what we call a big circuit, unlike the short circuits that you see on a more regular basis. So Darley Moor, even though it's not a motor racing circuit, it's 1.5 miles round, lots of bike racing takes place there. And it's a half-day experience, so as you said, Anthony, that you start off in a Pro Kart just to basically learn which way the track goes. It's got some chicanes there that curbs do bite. So if you do hit the curbs at the wrong point, you could be in trouble.
And these karts don't have suspension,
they don't indeed, no. And so you start off in a Pro Kart, and then you know, it's all under control. Terry will only send about 2 or 3 people out at once. So it's not racing, it's just trying to get the basics of what the circuit layout is. And then he's got a couple of 254 strokes, so slightly more power. Gears, obviously, this time as opposed to a Pro Kart, which is literally just accelerator brake. A bit more power for that. And then if people are comfortable enough with it, then he's got some race prepped 125cc karts. So, you know, they're still pushing out 45 brake horsepower, could probably still do 110 at the end of the straight, you know, and I've helped out up there a few times, and I raced up at Darley Moor on many occasions and helped out Terry at the school, and the beam of people's faces when they come in and say, wow, that is fantastic. You know, so it's well worth a visit. I would say if you're interested in getting into superkart racing, that's a good opportunity to see that or go there. Or, as I say, come to meetings during the year to speak to people in the paddock. You know, as you say, MSA have had one of the 450s on display today. Lots of kids have been sitting in it, and dads have been taking photographs. And I say you managed to just about clamber in and out of it. And as you said, once you're in it,
it's really comfortable.
Oh yeah. I mean, the thing is that
when it's stationary.
Yeah. Well, round the bumps of Cadwell Park, you'll probably feel it in your back. But you know, I raced for 25 years, and people say, oh, you know, but you must be mad. Well, no, because once you're out there, and actually it is quite comfortable, and the seat is designed to hold you in round the sides. Yeah. So
no seat belts.
No seat belts, no roll bars.
And you're going 137 mile an hour.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's horses for courses. I mean, you know, we all appreciate that all forms of motorsport are dangerous, but you know, there's controls and checks in place. You know, there's sidebars on these seats, there's rear bumpers, there's bumpers within the front nose cones, so there's lots of protection for the driver. And you know, like I say, we just try and make it as safe as possible. So
yeah, it is, but it is such an experience. I think, you know, the acceleration you can get. I was speaking to Ross Allen, who's driving the number 1, and you know, he was saying that these karts, they accelerate.
Well, it's 0 to 60 in about 2 seconds.
Well, he was saying 0 to 60 in about 1 point something
okay.
seconds.
Yeah,
so
right.
he was
I stand corrected.
Yeah, no, he was saying the thing breaks your neck. It is breakneck speeds that these karts can pull out. So there's a shot of some of the drifters, last of the drifters doing their session out on circuit. But yeah, no, these things are absolutely incredible when they're out there. And
I think the acceleration they were saying years ago, and okay, I know things have moved on.
Yeah.
But the initial acceleration from 0 to 60 was almost the same as a Formula 1 car. Obviously, once you go from 60 to 100.
Yes, yeah, major. They keep going.
You know, I think many years ago there was a track test. I think, well, the year that Jacques Villeneuve won the World Championship in the Williams, so that was what, 97-ish, something like that.
I wasn't born,
and,
but yeah.
And they did a track test. I think it was about a week or 2 weeks after the Grand Prix at Silverstone, and they compared speeds through Copse Corner.
Yeah.
And the Williams was coming into the Copse Corner. Bear in mind, the Copse Corner's had a few changes over the years. But the Williams was coming in, braking, changing down one gear and then accelerating out of it. Now I think it was clocked at 137-ish or something like that.
Yeah.
Superkart went through there, flat, 143. And people said, that's impossible, that's wild. But okay, it was flat, it was dialed in.
Yeah.
But obviously on acceleration out of Copse through to Maggots.
An F1 car would go from 130 to 200.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Where that would stay at 140.
That was a real arm. In fact, I think it was Ian Flux that actually did the track test with Superkart. So you know, he's no mean driver. You know, and it woke up quite a few people as we see the drive. Wow, it's the first time I've seen them all weekend. You know. But, Superkarts. You know, it's once you get in it, it gives you such a buzz.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I think my buzz now, having done it for 25 years, is talking about it. You know, I think it's the old, was it Murray Walker's old expression or something, that those that can do it and those that can't talk about it.
Yeah.
So I've done it and now I'm talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. I've not done it, but I do want to do it. I am going to head myself. I am going to head starting. Well, I'm going to give it a go because.
Well, there's a few people sort of like within the. I mean, like Jake Sansom. You know, and I said to Jake, right, you want to get yourself up there? You know, have a run around. You know, so,
I definitely want to.
Because what we try and say to people is, you know, if they're coming new into the sport, is don't buy a brand new kit, because if you don't like it and you frighten yourself, that's a big investment that goes the wrong way. So, you know, speak to people in the paddock, you know, try and get hold of second-hand kit, you know, and it's well worth. You know, everyone's got their own race budget, and you race to whatever you can afford. You know, I mean, entry fees are about $340, but then that's a standard entry cost that is imposed by these sort of clubs, you know. So. Set of tyres, you know, you're talking about £200+ you know, and you know, I mean, the new Anderson chassis is about £6,000. As I say, we don't suggest people buy brand new unless they're really
And plenty more chassis options are available.
Oh yeah.
Like you see,
and engines as well.
I will see, you know. Like, I'll refer back to Ross Allen, because I was having a chat with him earlier, because obviously he's quite popular in the British Championship with the Birrellet RT team, i.e. Jade, the Jade Racing team. And I was just saying, I was looking at the kart itself, twin Miami 125s.
Well, I say, I was going to use the word unique, but I've been picked up by so many people in the school. No, all friendly banter, you know. It's unique in its present climate because there's not anybody that's running two 125 engines, but it has been used in the past. Kevin Dent used to run two 125s on an outfit, and Ian Russell's, who coordinated for the other championship. You know, so various people in the past have tried a double 125 engine setup in a 250 category. the trick is to make sure that the sequential gearbox, they change gear on both engines at the same time.
Yes.
And once you've overcome that, and obviously there's various quadrants, if you looked at Ross's car, you see how they've got it rigged up. But you know, in the past, there's always been a problem that you go to sort of go say from third to fourth, and one engine will go into fourth,
yeah,
and the other
one doesn't.
You have to sort of bang it again, and then suddenly one's into fifth and one's into fourth.
Would it start crabbing at that point? Just think, no, that's overtaken.
No, because obviously one's trying, you know, one's trying to pull a faster gear, but yeah, I mean, it's worked, and Ross has proved, you know, British Championship last year, and I say he's well on the pace today. So, you know, it's different. You know, and I mean, even Toby and Ben Davis, you know, tried years ago to try a DRS system within Superkarts.
Really?
And it worked.
Did it?
Oh yeah.
Helped out massively.
Oh God, I mean, they tried it at somewhere like Thruxton.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know, that's flat out for a park round there. I mean, the only time you stop is like for the chicane at the end.
I mean, but do you have to stop for that?
But it sort of got outlawed because there was worries that if the system failed, would it fail in the fastest position?
Yeah.
But speaking to Toby and Ben's dad, no, it was designed that if it failed, it would always drop to the most drag position.
Okay.
So you couldn't end up, if it failed, you were suddenly going a lot faster than what you wanted to do. So, but you know, it was a new idea, got tried, but unfortunately, you know, it sort of lasted, I think, a season, and then was outlawed. So
there we go. If you are just joining us on the live stream, welcome back to, of course, the Motorsport UK British Superkart Championships. Yes, you've been witnessing some drift cars going around the track, but we were just waiting for their session to finish. Gary, you were out chatting away to all the drivers in the assembly area just before we cut to these live feeds of the track, and of course you had a good tune. How many drivers did you manage to? Because I have to say,
I was trying to mix it up with as many classes and people that. I mean, obviously Liam Morley on pole position. Liam, you know, he set fastest lap and one of the top drivers, you know, in the class, but just couldn't get the power sorted out so far. So consequently, the GP car of Lee Harpham starting behind him, interestingly, in this race. So Liam, a very good driver, and trying to just catch up with some of the other guys. You know, the classes have already been locked out because it's the best two races from the three this weekend that would determine the point. So with Lee Harpham already getting 2 wins, he's locked out the maximum score for the weekend. Similarly, Jack Tritton in 125s, Costa Karitsis in the 450s, and Lee Plain. But it's not to say that those that haven't got a win yet, if they get a win in this one, they can still obviously carry that forward to Anglesey in June. So still lots to play for. You know, the championship, say it's 8 scoring opportunities. The best 6 count, but it's 2 from this weekend, 2 from Anglesey, and then I say the final 2 at Donington Park.
Yes, because of course
in September.
Yeah, and you've also got the GP plate, you've got the Grand Prix
as well.
You've got the Grand Prix there, so you see your driver who's sporting the GP plate,
which is Lee Harpham,
in this one. Of course, you can only hold that GP plate for the year.
Yes, so once theoretically after the GP, he could still run it to the end of the season.
Yes,
and then from the 1st of January. Whoever the GP winners are.
If he won, he can keep it. Yeah.
I mean,
but if he doesn't,
there's the 3 main plates within Supercars that we call the Triple Crown that guys like to win, which is the GP for the Grand Prix, the 0 plate, which
is that the O plate? Is that the open plate?
That's the O plate. It used to be called the Hesketh Trophy. And this predates me in karting, but probably goes back to the 70s. Bert Hesketh was one of the sort of founding members of karting way back when. And it was originally, I think, the Hesketh Trophy. Then it obviously became the O plate, but it's also known as the UK Cup as well. Yeah. But once again, it's a one-off. It's a one-off event. So Liam won it at Silverstone last August. So effectively, there was 2 qualifying races during the day. And then the last race, the winner was that would take the O plate. And once again, it was awarded in all 4 classes.
Yeah,
so,
exactly the same as short circuit karting as well, because you've got the GP plate that would be done at Kartmasters at PFI. You've got the O plate that's done at select circuits all around the UK, and that's in all classes as well. That you'd have. You've got the English plate, the E plate as well.
That's right. We did have the E plate, but that's I think, been suspended for this year. So
Right.
whether that's going to be resurrected for next year, we don't know yet. But and obviously then the other one of the Triple Crown is the number 1 plate.
Yeah.
So
And then depending on the race class, you could have an alphabet of karts instead of numbers.
well, it's all whether our good friends TSL can sort of manipulate it all onto.
Yeah.
They used to get a bit wary sort of a few years ago because letters didn't seem to compute in the system. But obviously now it's all transponder driven and things like that. So you do get a variety, obviously letters and numbers and things like that. Unfortunately, I say, Lee Plain's the British champion in the 250 national class, but because we're running mixed classes on the grid, we've got 4 classes out there. Unfortunately, Lee can't run number 1, but he runs 101.
Right.
So that's the reason. That signifies
Yes.
that within 250 nationals, he's the reigning champion. I've got my points here.
Get your paperwork out, Gary. Sort it
I was
out.
trying to work out who was second. Actually, it was Paul Platt that was second in 250. So theoretically, Paul Platt could have run 102.
Right.
But he runs GP1 because he was the GP winner in the 250 national category.
Okay.
So, but anyway, Superkart's out on track. So we'll quickly run through the grid positions for this final race, and the positions based on the lap times from the preceding race. So you'll be surprised to see, perhaps a lot of you have been here today, that even though Lee Harpham won the earlier race, he actually only lines up on the second row of the grid. So on pole position, having set the fastest lap from the earlier race, is the 0 kart of Liam Morley. Alongside him is the 7 kart of Andy Gulliford. Row 2, the GP of Lee Harpham and reigning champion, the 1 kart of Ross Allen. Row 3 is the 3 kart of Carl Kinsey. And the first of the 250 nationals, that's the 101 of Lee Plain. And row 4, 29 Tom Hatfield and 35 Samantha Henschel. Samantha not had a particularly good weekend so far. The same problem seems to have happened where the exhaust manifold keeps popping out. So they've basically wired it up, taped it up,
welded it,
extra springs, and she's fitted new tyres for this race. So Samantha's going to be on it for this final race. That's the 35 kart, row 4. Row 5 is the first of the 450s. That's the 69 of Costa Karitsis, and he's joined by the 43 of Sean Lombardo. Row 6, 49 Michael Parr, and another Division 1 driver's 33 Mark Newton. Row 7 is the 27, that's Amy Jurger, and 74 Will Lawrence. Row 8, 90 Rob Austin, and the first of the 125s, that's 97 of Tom Riley. Row 9 is going to be his closest rival, that's the 87 of Jack Tritton, who we had a word with earlier on. Completing row 9 is the 161 of Richard Connick. Row 10, 89 Shane Stoney, and 91 Kieran Phillips. Row 11, 26 Ronan McClintock, and 17 of Gary Potkins. And unfortunately Luke Plain, who should have lined up on the final row of the grid, unfortunately Luke, had a front upright break yesterday, and Luke Plain will be a non-starter. So we'll be having 22 going for this final race, which I think is still down to be for 12 minutes. I know there was some risk that things might be cut because we're running a bit behind schedule.
We're a little behind schedule here at Cadwell Park, it has to be said. So again, I do apologise to anyone who was expecting to tune in and expect to see karting at this time. Unfortunately, yes, because of how fluid motorsport is, things change, times change, and grid times change as well. But we're here now live. 12 minutes of racing will take place, hopefully.
Now the pace car has switched off the lights this time, so only one warming up lap this time. So we will be going for a start.
Ready to bunch up.
Race directors and the safety car driver happy that everybody is in situ, and we look for them to come out of barn corner. Green flags being waved by the marshals. Yes, so nice indicating by the pace car to show that he's coming into pit lane.
No one saw it, but yeah,
that's very considerate of him.
I know. I was going to say it's the first time I've ever seen an indicator on a BMW.
Now that looks ominous, all this white stuff on the exit of barn corner. I just hope that that's all been cleared up. But front row being dictated by the 0 kart of Liam Morley. Red lights are off and away we go. And who was that? That's Gulliford slow away, but it's Morley from Harpham. And Ross Allen, no, Ross Allen not quite as quick this time. So the first 4 disappeared up through Coppice for the first time as we pick them up as they go through Charlie's and over the top. And I think it's Morley that's struggled a little bit with pace in the earlier races to try and get past the one kart of Ross Allen. That if he's got the jump in this one, then but say Lee Harpham already 2 wins. You know, he can just really sit there and sort of just relax with it.
Not worry about it. Yeah, quite literally. Well, Ross Allen in the number 1, he's fastest in Sector 1 at the moment, or speed-wise, you know, 130 mile an hour or so.
So Sector 1 finishes where? Just as they're going on to the back straight? I'm not sure whether,
I think, just about up in towards Park.
But Morley quickest in Sector 2, so let's see if Morley, 9/10 quicker than Gulliford in that.
He's
come
opened
back
up
over
quite
the
a
mountain.
gap.
So as they come into sight, it's Morley from Harpham, Gulliford, Ross Allen, Carl Kinsey, and Lee Plainwell up there in the 101 cart. Costa Corexis leading the 450s. Amy Jurgen second in the 450s, and we'll look further back to find the 125 battle, and it's Jack Tretton side by side with Shane Stoney as they went through Hall Bends. I'm not sure if it was the 97 of Tom Riley that was leading the 125s, but and that was a little bit of a tap between Will Lawrence and Richard Connick as they went through Barn Corner, but completing the first lap, and it's Morley, Harpham, Gulliford, Ross Allen, Cole Kinsey, Lee Plain leading the 250 Nationals from the 43 of Sean Lombardo. So where has the 29 of Tom Hatfield disappeared to? Has Tom Hatfield had an issue on this opening lap? His Parker Motorsport teammate, the 43 of Sean Lombardo, holding second place.
No, sorry, it's 7th place
in the 250 Nationals. So
sorry, in class you were talking about. Sorry, 7th overall, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, that's me being silly again.
And Samantha Hemphill, 3rd in 250 Nationals. Just lost a couple of places on the opening lap, but whether she's just waiting for those new tyres just to come in a little bit. But carts back into sight over the mountain again, and it's Morley from Harpham. Andy Gulliford still there. Ross Allen pushed back to full spot. Kinsey reasonably close there in 5th, and it's Lee Plain, the 101, in a big gap before we see Lombardo being chased by Samantha Hemphill. Costa Corexis right on the tail of Samantha, and Amy Jurg at the 2nd in the 450s, tucked up a little bit behind the 33 of Mark Newton. Goes through ahead of Shane Stoney, but I think it's the 97 of Tom Riley that leads the 125 category as they stream through Barn Corner and across the start and finish, and that's 2 laps under the belt already. And Harpham fastest lap so far, a 22.935, but 1.3 seconds behind Harpham. But he's proved already this weekend that he can maintain that gap over Harpham. But I think Liam's done a few tweaks during the lunch break and during the rest of the day. So I say it. Liam, always a difficult person to beat. Always a difficult person to beat. But
one of those, is he?
Lots of experience. Well, a lot of the guys that did race in the Division 1 category actually dropped down to the 125s.
Right.
And suddenly we had Morley and Harpham, and Sam Moss is not here. And suddenly the 125 race was fantastic. And now they've all moved back up into Division 1, and they've renewed all the battles in faster machinery, you know. So. But it's Morley from Harpham through Hall Bend, still Gulliford hanging on there in 3rd spot. Ross Allen still there in 4th.
That camera angle there kind of just shows how the bumps that they go through, how much the head is shaking as they go through. It is quite a roller coaster ride they've got.
Well, the MSA, and it's not. I think it's being piloted with Superkarts this weekend, but I think it's being rolled out across most forms of motorsport. Is an IDR sensor, so it's an impact detector.
Right.
So obviously it's related to accidents, but as one of the guys said yesterday, well, they're taking off over the mountain. Is it gonna trigger the impact sensor? It's not going to stop the cart, but I think what they're trying to do is get some feedback on data. So,
okay, just know how much a driver goes through, you know, what it takes to actually drive one of these, you know, as a kind of, maybe not a warning, but just as a, you know, a kind of reminder that, you know, you're going to be pushing some G's through some of these corners.
I think this is where sort of, say, Motorsport UK trying to get some idea of, in an incident, what sort of G's are being forced. I mean, all, you know, here in Formula 1, was it 21 G's or
50 sometimes, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it's an across the board, but they're just having a look at it and see what the forces are in play. But Morley quickest lap that time around, a 22.3, so Jack up to 2.2 seconds, and visibly you can see that he's stretching it. But the thing would say Lee Harpham doesn't need to push. He's got maximum scores already from the 2 races. So I actually think Lee's just quite happy to sit there and in second. But it'd be nice, obviously, to take points off of Liam, because you know, if he gets another win, it means that Liam scores only 20 for this one. But
because essentially, the rounds that, again, work out if you are new to the Superkart calendar, this is event 1, but this is round 3.
Yes.
So,
but they count their best 2 from this weekend.
Yes.
So, obviously, Lee got a win on Saturday, on Sunday, and then another one this morning. So, he's already maxed out. He can't improve on the score.
Right.
But by winning this race, he could stop somebody else getting a potential 25 points. So, just come up for 6 minutes on the clock. And this is a good little scrap. Mark Newton once again ahead of Michael Parr. Michael was in the Division 1 sandwich in that earlier race, and he finds himself behind the 33 of Mark Newton again, and they're being chased by the 27 of Amy Jurga, who's running second in the 450 category. Jack Tritton goes through on screen, and just going to see what the difference is between Tom Riley up there, 14th overall on circuit, and Jack Tritton a bit further back. So I think once again Jack's got 2 wins already, doesn't need to push it. When I spoke to him earlier on, it's almost like they're using it as a bit of a test session. Just try a few things. And
now a green flag waving usually means that there's a yellow flag.
A preceding yellow flag.
Yeah, so
there is a yellow
now
flag.
A yellow flag.
Wave yellows at the bottom of the mountain, and there is a yellow flag being waved at the top. So let's see.
Someone's not come out of a corner, so that's well, someone there. So Christis has just dropped 11 places in the 69.
69. So Costa Kritsis in the was leading the 450 category. So has he parked it in a dangerous place? It's just a single waved yellow at the bottom of the mountain. Can't quite pick up what's going on. But Mark Newton's still got his hands full trying to keep the 49 cart of Michael Parr at bay, and then you've got the 27 of Amy Jurga, and I think at the back of that group is the 90 cart of Rob Austin. So Rob Austin, a driver that's moved up from the 125 category into the 250 Nationals this year. Tom Riley gone through shot and well clear, leading the 125. So here comes Jack Tritton through one corner.
Sorry, just to cut over you there, Morley is also dropping down dramatically in the timing table. So has Christas and Morley had a coming together somewhere?
I think that was too far apart on the circuit. So Lee Harpham crosses the line. So has something gone amiss with the 0 cart of Liam Morley? Certainly not going to be a finisher in this one.
And he was running at the sharp end as well.
3 minutes 47, we're leading the race. So it's now Lee Harpham that's got the advantage over Andy Gulliford, 1.7 seconds at the end of the previous lap, and it's now 1.8 seconds. So Andy Gulliford looking good for a second place finish in this. Ross Allen's still there in third, and then we wait for the 3 cart. Carl Kingsley crosses the line to complete 6 laps, and Lee Plain. Just going to have a quick look and see the battle between Lee Plain and Samantha Hempshire. Obviously not quite got the pace of the 250 twins, but Lee Plain, a fair distance ahead of Samantha Hempshire, but provided the exhaust stays on for the 3rd race then Samantha, but she's got one of the Parker guys behind her, so that's the 43 of Sean Lombardo, but Samantha hopefully is going to pick up a decent 2nd place in this one. Sean Lombardo still 3rd in the 250 Nationals. Then we've got that little scrap between Mark Newton and Michael Parr, 2 different classes, and that is the 17 car of Gary Potkins into pit lane. So Gary Potkins already got some finishes in the previous 2 races, but obviously a problem that's preventing him from completing this race. Ross Allen coming up onto the back of Kieran Phillips as they go through Hall Bend, so that's the 91 car in the 450s, but across the line to start another lap is the GP kart of Lee Harpham, completes 7 laps, a gap over Andy Gulliford, now up to 2.495 seconds. 2 minutes on the clock, so I think we're going to get this one plus one more.
Yep.
And Ross Allen still hanging on there in 3rd place, but now over 6 seconds behind Andy Gulliford. Just trying to see if anyone's improving on their times. Kinsey was putting a decent couple of sectors together in that last lap.
No need.
Carl Kinsey still there, the free cart in 4th place. Crosses the line to complete 7 laps, and Samantha Hempshall now puts in a personal best, so a 28.059 for Samantha Hempshall, but she's 9.6 seconds behind Lee Plain, so I think she's looking for a safe 2nd place, but she can't relax too much. Sean Lombardo, the 43 cart there, only about 1.8 seconds behind as Harpham throws it through Paul Benz. Now, wasn't that 69 of Costa Caritzis I saw go through, so is he back up and running again? He's dropped. I think perhaps he had a spin somewhere, dropped back. I mean, Morley obviously set fast earlier on, but Costa Caritzis, so I think that should mean that, Amy Jurger, the 27 cart, got a win here last weekend at Cadwell and leading the 450 class again in this one, so it'd be good to see have a little chat with Amy after the race. We managed to get a few words with her beforehand, but 32 seconds on the clock as Samantha Hempshall goes through Hall Bend, still being chased by the 43 of Sean Lombardo.
So the GP
final lap.
GP plates, Harvin will come round and see the checker flag potentially this time.
I think he should be, yeah.
Yep, I suspect so. Probably going into the final section of the track now.
Well, we see the Newton Parr battle, but coming up and over the mountain is the 161 of Richard Connick being chased by the 125 leader 97 Tom Riley. Then we have the 87 of Jack Tritton, and here comes Harpham on cue. Is he going to put a lap on the 89 of Shane Stoney? Doesn't need to really, but that will spoil Shane getting a full race distance as Costa Caritzis goes past. And we look out from Barn Corner to see the GP car. So 3 starts this weekend, 3 finishes, 3 wins. Perfect score for Lee Harpham, takes the win, arm aloft. And that could be celebrated in the pubs in Grimsby, just down the road this evening. But superb win for the GP of Lee Harpham. Ross Allen pops in 2nd place. Now, what has happened to Andy Gulliford on this final lap?
He's also got past as well.
Andy Gulliford has gone missing. So
now there is another yellow flag at the bottom of the mountain. Is that still a yellow flag for the incident that we saw earlier? Or is that a new one?
Well, that could be a new one because I didn't see Andy Gulliford. Certainly he was 2nd going to that final lap. But it's Kinsey that takes 3rd place. Lee Plain takes the class winning 250 Nationals. And we wait for Samantha Hempshall. She crosses the line to get 2nd spot in the 250 Nationals. And then we wait for the 450s. And that should be the win for Amy Jurger. Just looking further back, she should be coming out of Barn Corner now as Tom Riley goes through Hall Bends. And that's the Newton Parr battle. Rob Austin. And where is the 27 of Amy Jurger? And Amy Jurger in problems, but just manages to coast it across the line to take the class win. So, wow, that was a close call for Amy Jurger, but gets the win. Tom Riley gets the 1st place in the 125s. And that concludes your Supercar action for today. We'll have a quick word with class winners if we can. puff of the cheeks there, Lee. So that was a hard race chasing Liam, but obviously you say you pulled in and it's now 3 starts, 3 wins for you.
Yeah, it's been an amazing weekend. I don't know what happened to Liam. He pulled off at the bottom of the mountain, but I was chasing, but my tyres had just gone. So I had a little off in the woods, 1 lap, and that's what he managed to let him get a gap. But no, it's a perfect weekend. Good start to the championship.
Well, we were saying on comms they'll be celebrating in Grimsby tonight.
Definitely. We're celebrating now straight away.
Well done. Okay, and the next one for you is going to be what, Anglesey?
Anglesey, yeah.
In June.
Yeah, Anglesey is my next one, and then we've got the Super Series in July. But unfortunately, I'm on holiday.
Well, actually, that makes it a bit fair because Liam missed the first one and you'll miss the next one. So when we roll up to where is it? I think Anglesey again. It'll be all square. So, but great driving this weekend. Well done, Lee. Thanks a lot. So, Lee, I'm back here again, yes. Hello again. So, like Lee Harpham, 3 starts, 3 wins, and keep the opposition at bay.
That's right, 3 out of 3, you can't ask for better than that. No, really pleased with that. It was a shame Tom Hatfield lost first gear, so he couldn't do the race, which is unfortunate because I'm sure Tom would have given me a good battle. So, it's, yeah, but obviously his loss is my gain. So I'll take that.
So with 3 wins, but you've now got to drop one of the wins because I say the scoring structure means that it's only the best 2 performances today. So if it was a bit sad to actually have to throw a win away.
Yeah, but it's still nice to have 2 wins, so I'm not too worried about if I had to give one away.
Great stuff, and we'll see you at Anglesey.
Yeah, definitely.
Well done, Lee. And Tom Riley. So Tom, finally got the win in the class. I mean, obviously, when I looked on the screen, I couldn't believe how far but you'd got ahead. And I mean, was it all about traffic in the early laps?
Yeah, I knew it'd be an easier race if I could put some distance between myself and Jack because he's bloody quick. So I took a few risks on the first corner, overtook on the rumble strip and managed to get a bit of a gap. But right to the last lap, I was expecting him to appear right next to me. So no, it was a decent win in the end.
So at least I say it's a reasonable start to the defence of your 125 crown.
Yeah, happy. After the lost the chain in the first race, recovery in the second and a decent win. So yeah, I'm happy with the weekend overall, all things considered.
Looking forward to Anglesey.
Can't wait.
Great stuff. Well done, Tom. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to get a chance to speak to Amy Jurger because, as Anthony himself saw, Amy literally just about managed to get it coasted across the finishing line. So there's every chance that she might be coming back on the recovery truck. But if we can grab a word, we'll try. And as I say on cue, there is the recovery truck with Amy Jurger. Can we get up to there? No. I'm not even sure that she realises that perhaps she even won the class. So, Andy Gulliford also back on the recovery truck. So.